How's it going, guys? Brian, sick as a dog, Cusco here at Triple B. Today's guest is Mr. Sean Bradley. We did not edit this video whatsoever, so I'm gonna try to keep this intro really short. I had Sean's permission to upload this thing straight from the moment we turned the camera on to the minute I took his microphone away, but he was still talking. I usually don't cuss in my videos out of respect for other people's kids, mainly. Normally I do cuss like a sailor, but you know. Anyway, so kids, parents, this video is full of enough swear words to fill up your swear jar for the year, so just be aware of that. You're watching Triple B CV.
It's the only reason I'm coming anymore is the ambiance of that. I don't even need the people, even though I was very disappointed last night. It was a shitty Saturday night. It was lame as fuck, man. Apparently our industry is turning into like youngsters that don't know how to hang out or grannies that don't come anymore.
I was trying to hang out pretty hard. Like these guys fed me a bunch of Jello
Dude,
shots.
I stayed up until 4 o'clock in the morning just to feel like I had a good time.
I was up till 3 something.
Really, I swear, I had to feel like, I had to go, really, I'm not kidding you. I really had to go. I told Cheyenne, I said, I'm staying up till 4 just so I can feel like I accomplished something tonight.
Jesse and I walked across the street to get pizza about 2 a.m. So
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, man. So somebody did it. 3 in the morning, I said, normally we go downstairs with Aaron and Bob Jones and eat pizza at 3 in the morning.
Yeah, I like to see stuff.
That's when they're sobering up. If they didn't get so trashed that they're going to sleep through.
These guys started tapping out at like, I mean, we right after the auction they started tapping out.
Okay. When this was in the other room, you'd go to the show on Sunday, and you'd see tables still closed at fucking 1 o'clock, because they're still hungover and trashed in their room. Waking up with puke all over them, hookers they didn't know they paid for, that stole all their money already and left, but left behind some underwear. One of the guys last night said, go upstairs, go in my drawer, get what you need out of my drawer, what I need, whatever, wasn't in panties. And he said, but don't go in the top drawer because there's various snacks in there, and I think a stripper cried in there last night. Wow. Reptile life, right?
Anyway. You're not redding out on that, are you? Is it not, it's not peaking on the auto? Good, good.
No. I'm kind of loud.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure it wasn't peaking out on the audio. That's good.
Come on, man. You got to use some limiters doing this shit, man. Where's your compressor limiter gate at?
I didn't lightweight traveling this time. I didn't even, this is his tripod. I'm not even using my own tripod.
You know, I mean.
That's his tripod.
Yeah, but I love the SLR cameras and stuff. That's pretty rad, you know.
I'm definitely traveling lightweight style.
So, like, this is my thing.
Usually I bring a hockey bag.
4K UHD live streaming audio of sexy hands doing a QVC ball python thing.
That's what you're gonna do, or that's what you're doing now?
It sounds like fun. You know?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like slightly pan and show that she's not wearing any clothes, but never show her after that ever again.
It would work. It would work.
Like these guys, it's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with the fucking marshmallow on a thing. You can lead them. Look, bro, look. I'm by the fucking men's room, dude. I got a cute girl working for me. You don't think we didn't talk to everybody? This is a schmooze or lose situation. All the women that try to come in here, they obviously can't fucking see. You know? We're like, men's room. They keep walking until they see the men standing at the urinal.
Well, to be fair, the men were doing the same thing down that side.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Bathroom, yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah, because I think, I don't know. Big opening, you know? It's a lot to look around, I guess.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Do it.
I feel like I should at least ask you one question. We could just roll with this, and this would work.
I ad-lib fine.
But I ask everybody, so I have that. How did you get into keeping? It's the classic.
How did I get
question.
into keeping?
Keeping, yeah.
Aquariums, coral tanks, reef tanks, saltwater fish. When I was 13, my mom would not let me have a reptile. So I could have an aquarium. My cousin had reptiles, and he was much older than me, like 13 years older than me, and he always had he lived in a shotgun double in New Orleans, which is a weird house situation where it's a long ass house. Every room is in order like this, and there's just doors between them. So you have to walk through a bedroom to get to a back room, you walk through a living room to get to a kitchen, to get to a dining area. You know, it's very weird. That's how New Orleans homes, old New Orleans houses were made. Okay. Shotgun doubles. They're double houses. They're the main house. They split them down the middle and made 2 houses out of them like that. Shotgun, because you could shoot a shotgun through them and kill everybody. That's why they call it that, right?
Gotcha.
So whatever, that was the whole name for it. So that's what I was told, man. It could have been something other than that, man. Who knows? But yeah, so he lived there, and in his bedroom, his walls were covered with cages, retics, berms, rhinoceros vipers and shit. I mean, just crazy stuff, rattlesnakes. And I was a kid, and I saw that stuff. And he had saltwater tanks, so I thought, you know, I'm gonna be like my big cousin. He was like my brother, big brother. I'm gonna keep saltwater tanks. Mom won't let me have that. So I got a job in a pet shop at 14 because I was working in the saltwater section, and I knew what I was talking about. I was in it. And I corrected one of their employees at 14. I corrected a 20-something-year-old employee because he was about to kill the woman's tank. And I stopped him. And a manager heard me, gave me a job. And so I worked there until I was 16, got another job at another pet shop. Right about that time, 15, 16 years old, I had worn my mother down. I had fucking nagged her so much for so long to get a snake. She finally let me. Well, my cousin, right, was connected by then. He had the best reptile expert in town in retail, was his best friend. His best friend was Adam Smith. Adam Smith managed Tom Crutchfield's operation. So when Sean Bradley wanted his first snake, they said, what do you want? I said, I want a red-tailed boa. But I don't want a BCI. But they're like, you don't want a BCI. You don't want an Imperator common boa. Those are trash, right? There was no morphs then. Albinos had just come out, basically. Shit, I don't even think albino. Yeah, albinos had just come out. And he was like, you don't want that shit. You want a true red tail. And so Adam Smith supposedly fumbled through 300 Guyana, Surinams, whatever they came in, and picked out the most awesome aberrant one and the most awesome classic pattern one and sent them both. And I picked out the classic pattern one. My mom made me sign a contract to keep the fucking snake. I had to make good grades. I had to keep it clean. It couldn't smell. I couldn't get out of the cage. And there's all these stipulations, and there's penalties of when they get out. And like, I got to sign it, and my stepdad, ex-stepdad, signed it, and she signed it. Thankfully, it had a clerical error, a spelling error in it, and I highlighted it when I framed it and put it up in my fucking shop for 15 years.
That's cool, man.
And it's got the very first shed skin of my Suriname boa in it, in the frame with it. And that was it, man. And so I had 2 snakes, then I had 3, then I had 4, then I had 6. Then we moved into another house that had 3 bedrooms, just her and I. Split up from the stepdad, 3-bedroom house. She decided to grace me with the bedroom. So I put a heater in it, put a sweep on the door so they couldn't escape and the heat would stay in, smell would stay in, taped up the fucking vent, turned the closet into an incubator, and filled the room up with homemade racks. 3/4-inch plywood, CDX plywood, painted with marine varnish. No rack systems then. None. This PVC shit, he had racks. Freedom Breeder was just doing that stuff. I mean, Vision was coming out with these cages that were crazy. You know, these crazy, Neo Deshay used to have these slant-fronted old, you know, they even remade them.
Clark still has them.
Clark still using the whole facility was full of them. I don't know if they melted or not, but yeah, and when they had fire or whatever there, I figured he lost them all. But I had those fucking things, you know, and then Vision came out with, they could stack, and you could fit 4 in the space of 3, and you didn't have to have a giant metal heavy rack to put them on. I mean, it was the worst design in the world to mold something that wouldn't stack on itself. We got to build a metal rack for something. It was fucking ignorant, but it was expanded. Look at that shit. Lindy came. Lindy Johnson from right over next to Freedom Breeder, so people don't know. Lindy Johnson came and graced me with his awesome presence and did my BallSh podcast. One of the only people that's done it live and spit in the mic, and it was him. The Henry Ford of reptiles and rodents, right? The infrastructure of the rack system is right there. That's it. If he'd have patented that idea, he'd be the only motherfucker in here with that. If he'd have did it, like Prevenamite, a conditional use patent on the idea of using a spray aerosol insecticide to kill mites in reptile cages. That's what he patented. Therefore, no one else can make an aerosol reptile spray that kills mites in reptile cages with instructions on it. Hence, Black Knight 2 taken off the market because it actually had it written on it. Ridiculous. He could have done that, but he didn't. And Freedom Breeder changed everything. So in my shop, I have Freedom Breeder 1, Freedom Breeder 2, Freedom Breeder 3, Freedom Breeder Custom in white enamel, right? Cool. Lindy's like, who fucking built this? I said, you fucking built that. What? Right? You know that, right?
you nailed it pretty well.
Right? I don't have the beard, the shaking the hair with the bald spots in it. I'll be there one day if I make it, bro. If I make it, I'm gonna fake it till I make it, right? Yeah. So I said, you made it. for a company called Rare Earth. Now, Rare Earth is still in business, but it's been through like 3 owners. You know, Mr. Tom Crutchfield remembers Rare Earth from back in the day. A guy that was very wealthy owned it. It was like his personal zoo of Australia. And these racks were made for him because he didn't want that hammered metal shit. He wanted it to be white. Everything to be white. And that was it. They came around and from Colorado to California, this and that, and the other thing, and they ended up in Louisiana. 2 of these racks. Then a guy from Slidell calls me, sends me a picture. He's like 30 minutes away from me in this little town, Slidell, Louisiana. And he takes a picture of a rack he just bought for his monitors, and it's the other style of rack that Lindy built that matches those racks. Ended up 30 minutes away from me, 10 years later after it folded out. You know, so it's like that right there revolutionized everything. And we didn't have that. We barely had that coming in. So yeah, I mean, back to me, dude, it was, you want to know how I heated my fucking rack, dude? You're going to love this shit. It was plywood, right? Boxes with shelves put together, open backed. I took a 1x4 strip of wood, ran it down the back as a backstop for the thing. I took fucking clear Christmas lights. I drilled holes in the thing on every level, and I screwed the Christmas lights in through the holes, through the wood like that. And I'd put the Christmas lights on a dimmer, and we'd heat the cage up and light them with Christmas lights behind the rack. I couldn't afford Freedom Breeder CB70 racks to start in ball pythons, so my cousin and I took all the 1x4 and 2x2 designs and ran them basically for rodent cages, for wooden rodent cages, and ran them out to CB70s. Tim Bailey, Bailey and Bailey Reptiles, BaileyReptiles.com. You can go to the DIY section. He's taking pictures of every step along the way of what it took to build my designer rack. All the pictures, all the cut list, all of everything for all my designs of racks, his designs too. We got into building PVC racks. All this stuff became available. I look at these people now and I'm like, fuck you, all right? You got this plastic and you're bitching about this. And I'm like, shut up, all right? CDX plywood's like this. Tom Crutchfield, I had a CDX plywood rack, right? You remember those days, I'm sure? Melamine, swelling up if you fucking spilled a bowl on it.
Are you seeing Tom walk by in this camera? Can you see him walk by? No, not at all?
No, that's all right.
I was curious. That'd be cool.
Nail him on the bathroom run. He doesn't even want to talk to me. It's all right. I told you I had albino iguanas too. So you interviewed him before me. It's all right.
Actually, I interviewed you yesterday a little bit.
True.
Yeah.
True. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, that was nice. That was nice. So yeah, man, it was, how about that for a rack, right?
Yeah.
My mom had an old shitty credenza my grandpa built out of plywood when he, like, way back in the day. Shitty ass thing. And I filled it with corn snakes. And my mom decided I wasn't gonna go in that room. So how many snakes are in that room, Sean? I don't know, Mom, about 45, 50, 125 snakes in that fucking room. Had them hidden in the closet. Incubating gecko eggs here, corn snake eggs here. Head boas, carpet pythons, hognose, high-level mountain colubrids, all in the same fucked up room heat. No separation of like temperatures and shit. Just keeping a shitload of stuff and not breeding any of it. Because none of it would fucking breed. Because it was all not right. Couldn't cool this one because of this one. Couldn't heat this one because of that one. Right? It was fucked. I just had a pet room. So all the shit they told me all along, Sean, focus, but I can't focus. This is too fucking awesome. You look at this, right? Ball pythons. There's some bloods, right? There's 2 feet of bloods in 3 drawers of blood pythons. The rest is coast-to-coast balls, except for those tortoises. That looks like I focused on something right. That's just to pay the bills for all the other shit at home that I never breed. Diamond pythons to blackheads, womas, almost every Antaresia from Australia. Corn snakes, rat snakes, weird house snakes, all kinds of shit. Weird geckos I'm about to go buy with a little bit of money that I made today. I can't stop that, dude. I can't stop that. You talk to Kevin McCurley much. Same kind of geek as me, dude. You can't stop that. You know, you can't. I want to deal with people, difference in me and Kevin. I want to sell, I want to promote. He wants to educate, but he wants to do it in a very passive way to where he doesn't have to be upfront and active with people. And that's fair enough. But we're still fucking geeks at the end of the day. We're not profiteers. We're freelance artists in ball pythons. We're not greed monsters. You know? Greed monsters, greed mongers. That's what I consider the difference. You're either a freelance artist or you're a fucking gallery painter. And a fucking gallery painter's done nothing but making hotel paintings for fucking Ramada Inns off of side highways in small towns. That's what you're making. You're following footsteps of, he made this, so I want to make that. Make it better, but instead you made it cheaper, and it looks worse. And you have to sell it for less, and you have to bitch about how little it's worth. Because you didn't put art into it. You didn't care about it when you bought it. You walked around the room and you looked for the cheapest fucking highway. You didn't look for the darkest fucking highway. Right? So things change a lot in this business, and a lot of the younger folks, younger in the business, right? They don't understand that. They don't. Like, people would be like, dude, how do you have these snakes that look so much better than these guys? Or I'll hear it from him. He's got these snakes that look so much better than yours. Well, dude, I've been keeping ball pythons for 18 years. I've been producing them for 16 years. And for 17 or 18 years, I've been nitpicking the fuck out of what I breed, keep, raise, sell, blah, blah, blah. I noticed Blade and called it reduced for 6 years before Mark Mandick and I got together a little bit. He kind of did it on his own, really, but his own experimentation, not really so much mine. I was just like, oh, it's a reduced pattern. You know, that was it. It's a normal. I was an old school reptile. It's a normal. It's a normal. It's a normal. It's a normal. I turned down sulfurs as normals, fires as normals, yellow bellies as normals, all before a white snake was ever made. I turned down fires 3 fucking times for $800. 3 years before a white snake was ever made. A year after Pete Call paid $125,000 for one, I turned down the het sitting there because I didn't realize that slightly light ball python that I didn't believe was a recessive proven hypo, therefore I did not buy it, was actually another morph that was incomplete dominant like Spider, but instead had a super like pastel and ended up being worth everything in the marketplace. Ralph Davis was sitting on goblins when he freaked out on the side of a river fishing when I called him and told him that Colette Sutherland, who he didn't really like at the time, had just hatched out a fucking white snake from yellow bellies from Morton Wright. And he had no idea his goblins were yellow bellies sitting in the rack. Brian Barchak held a secret from a lot of people with a codominant hypo because he didn't want to release it because he thought it would ruin the recessive hypo's marketplace because it had been such a decent gene for them for a while. So he kept it secret on the side in the background, and it was like sulfur or fire or vanilla or something like that. It was so many things, but they were normals. Okay, King Smith, older guy that's works with me, 64 years old, was with me at a show, and he saw somebody had a picture of a scoria boa. Sorry if my mic messed up. Picture of a scoria boa. He said, he laughed. And I was like, what? He said, in 81, I was at the shed, or 79 or some shit, and I had a shipment of BCI come from Colombia, babies. And he said there was like 350 of them in this giant bin, and smashed against the side was a patternless one with those block things on its tail. And he said, that's it right there. Sold it as a fucking normal or an aberrant. Genetic stripe balls coming in.
That's
dude,
ridiculous.
Bob Clark had to buy the albino ball with the genetic stripe. Whoever caught it, I don't know who caught it, made him buy the genetic stripe with it. He got the albino in, got the G stripe in, both are recessive, right? We know that now, both are recessive. He bred the shit out of the albino, made albinos, this and that. The G stripe sat on the fucking shelf. He never touched it once. He never bred it, and he never made heads from it. He never did any of that shit. Until after, like a few years later, he bred it, and he was like, oh, this is genetic. Oh, genetics are more than pieds and albinos. It was weird to see us realize that genes were genes. Oh, by the way, my new ball python morph I want to name, or one of you can name it, you can steal it, but I'm taking credit for it. I'm not going to sue you for intellectual property, but please call it Levi's. So you can say it's a Levi's gene. Please. We just did that over here. We just came up with that like 20 minutes ago. That's got to be it. Levi's jeans. Come on, right?
I wear Levi's.
I mean, there you go. The next new morph you produce.
And then all the combos you get.
May your first child be a masculine child.
555s, 556.
There you go. Exactly. There you go. That's why I got the Atari ball now. You know how many games they got? A lot of titles, man. A lot of title stripe ones that are centipedes, right? I mean, come on, man. That's easy enough. Oh, so yeah, man. Anyway, I mean, the start was interesting. I mean, And the reptile shop I'm talking about I went to as a kid was a fish store with a grooming shop in uptown New Orleans that was from the 1950s. Even to the point where the man that opened it, the way they used to have it was they had a soda pop fridge, and they had a turtle fridge right next to it, and you could get your soda pop and your red-eared slider right out of the fridge. So you didn't have to feed them and clean them and water them and stuff. They just kept the baby red-eared sliders in deli in little cups in the fridge, so the kids could just buy them. And that's the 50s and the 60s of reptiles. TG&Y, Woolworths, dime stores. I remember there was an old Woolworths in New Orleans, and I went in and they had caiman, boa constrictors, and ball pythons. And I was like 5. That would have been 1985. Weird shit. You never see now. That'd be like going into Walmart now and seeing boas for sale in the fish section.
That's great. Yeah.
If your Walmart even has a fish section.
Right.
Which a lot of them don't. So yeah, it's just funny. Which is ironic too, because all the Walmarts in Asia have the fish right in the front, smashed in there, patch lens smashed in there, all horrible. I fucking hate Walmart. That's a whole nother thing. But yeah, anyway, so that's that, man.
I think that
I got to watch it change, dude.
I'm pretty sure that we're gonna have to do a couple of these. I'm barely gonna edit this. I think I'm barely gonna, because that's just. I've been blessed somehow with folks that I'll ask a question, I get the whole story, or not the whole story, but this was just the beginning of the story, right? For you, this is just the beginning.
No, I mean, so the stories go into each other.
Right,
and they connect from person to person to person to person. I mean, everybody credits Pete with pieballs, and certainly I credit Pete with pieballs 100%. Morton Wright, I mean, not Morton Wright. Oh my God, now I'm fucking forgetting his name. Oh, Jesus Christ. They brought in the albino boa. They brought in the pied. Ernie Wagner and his friends brought in the albino boas. They brought in the piebald ball pythons. He bred the pieds first, made his own hets, sold Pete the pied. Pete made the hets, sold Brian Barczyk the pied. Brian Barczyk killed the pied. He didn't kill it. It died on him. It died on him like 2 weeks after he had it, and it was one of those, sorry, buddy, you got stuck holding your dick. The musical chairs ended on you, and that was it. That's how it went. It was just like, tough luck, pal. Better luck next time. And that's how Africa was, from what I gathered. They were fucking Western Unioning over $50,000, $100,000, $500,000 in Western Union, for Christ's sake. These guys are crazy with that shit. Trusting it, all the political arrangements. Noah walking around this show up until maybe, 5 years ago when Pete stopped coming, Noah would walk around this show in his African garb most of the time, in his dress to the 9 yards shit. With the thing and the hat and the thing on the hat and the wearing the thing over the thing and the thing. It's like layer upon layer of shit. And, Sean, I'd like to sell you ball pythons. No, I'd like to keep my money. I mean, I heard the only way to do business with you is if I owe you money perpetually so you don't fuck me so you get paid. Pretty sure I don't do business that way. That's it. But everybody had, their way. And everybody had drama. And everybody had a story. The Lesser Platinum and the Butter came in at the same time. Ralph said, Mark Bell, you should call that a Lesser Platinum. Mark Bell said, fuck you should call you a Butter. And therefore we have Lessers and Butters. A lesser is only a butter that in Africa was bred to a modifier gene known as Daddy. They came in as Daddy Platty that produced lessers. And as you could know and follow the line from Daddy Platty, if it didn't come from a line of Daddy Platty from Ralph Davis, it's not a lesser. It's not a lesser, it's a butter. And the lessers are like mauve, purpley brown. Butters are bright, brownish, yellow and red. They're very different when you see these different more. You might wonder that. You guys might wonder, why does this butter so tan and why is this lesser so yellow? Because they're fucking wrong, because that was why. And you can figure just like my collection, your collection, Tim Bailey's collection, Nerd's collection. I could look at each one of these and notice the art skill you have and the palette and form you chose. Oh, you chose watercolors. I chose charcoals, bro. I'm JD Constriction. I chose charcoal, right? I chose a whole nother way to make my collection look. Almost to the point to where we can take all these fucking banners down, put black tablecloths on every table, put every snake in every case on black beans or whatnot, and have you walk around and guess whose collection is whose. based on the palette that they're working. I see it all the time. Am I an artist? People are like, oh, this fucking artist shit, this guy's full of his ass. But we are. We stopped caring about Python Regius a fair fucking minute ago, son. Wouldn't you agree? We stopped caring about the palette, the canvas we're using to paint on. You know how many breeders have snakes with slightly misshapen noses, weird eyes, strange tail lengths, things like that, but they're morphs and they're marketed as such, and they're not even scrutinized at all by their physical attributes so much as they are by their pattern, color, and price?
That's true.
Where's that going to go, buddy?
That's true.
Ball pythons are going to come and look like Sloth. Baby Ruth, right? From Goonies, right? They're going to be all fucking disfigured and shit.
Well, hopefully not.
Hopefully not, but you do see changes. You do see changes. If you listen to my Greg Graziani BallSh podcast, it's great. I punk the shit out of him, and I love it because he's going through his photo album. And this man's photo album starts with a photo of his mother in the 1950s as a child holding a snake at a snake farm. That's the first photo in his photo album. Then it starts to Greg Graziani as a child, and it's reptiles, reptiles, reptiles. It's Greg Graziani as a teenager, ripped as fuck, just tiny ass shorts on in the 80s, running around the Everglades, catching every reptile he kept, showing you an album of this is in the 70s, 80s, Nile monitors, tegus, savannah, like all, I mean, dude, you would go down the list, every single reptile. It's like, you didn't buy any of these? No, I caught them all in Florida running around. Then, right?
That's wild.
Fucking crazy.
That's wild.
But the DEA used to bust shipments, and Customs used to bust shipments, and just throw that shit out in there. Because back then it was just an animal, right? We're gonna live it on Earth. The United States is Earth, right? We're not gonna send it to Mars. Fuck, that's too expensive. Let it go in the Everglades. And they seeded that shit. We seeded that shit. Obviously, Hurricane seeded that shit with the whole Vietnamese berm thing, right? But I mean, it's, fuck man, now I lost my train of thought.
That's all good, dude. Like, I'm not sure how we close. We gotta close.
Well, look, let's do this. Let's say, well, like what I was saying about the Greg, let me finish the Greg thing because it came back to me. His snake he shows us is this morph he named, because he's got names for everything. He shows the first pastel jungle, because that's what pastels were called, pastel jungle. If you go to my website and look at my codes, it'll say 18 PJ OD, pastel jungle, OD, orange dream. I still use PJ. It'll always be PJ to me. It ain't ever gonna be P to me, because it's not P. LP, you know what LP is? Lesser platinum. Because the lesser ain't a lesser, motherfucker. It's a lesser platinum. Get it straight. Stop abbreviating it. You're confusing the masses. People don't even know it platinum. They don't even think about daddy. That was an amazing, look at steak at the time, dude. It was an imported in 2000 adult male designer ball python from the wild. It was a double gene adult male caught in the wild. That's fucking insane.
Yeah.
We didn't even think that's what was causing it to look different, because we didn't even think that was fucking possible. And I bought a tri-stripe off of a kid that bought a gravid female normal alpha outback and hatched tri-stripes off of it, because it met in Africa another wild male het tri-stripe, fucked it, got gravid, and this dude bought it. It's just crazy.
That is crazy.
And that's what Graziani, he shows me this picture of this morph, and he's like, I could never prove that one out. And Dave Kaufman's on it. And Dave's like, dude, that's really cool. And I was like, dude, I make those all the time. It's deformed. Greg's like, shut your ass, it's deformed. It's all on the podcast. Shut up, it's not deformed. Greg, dude, if you had that, dude, I still have her. Go get her right now. I said, go get that snake and go get a snake with a normal head. A snake with a normal head, she has a normal head. Greg looks at the picture, Dave looks at the picture, it's a side fucking picture. I said, if you guys in all your years don't see that snake has an overbite, you are some blind motherfuckers. Because its head was curved, which means it had developmental issues in the egg, which means it's going to be reduced pattern. It's going to be brighter orange. It's going to have more striping, less alien eyes, all that shit, okay? All because of that development. And I saw it all in that fucking head. And he went and got that goddamn snake. And I told Dave, I said, Dave, you go over there and you pick a snake. Bring it over here. Put him like this. Dave, you can hear it on the recording. Oh yeah, I do see that. Right? I know, level that way right there. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it was nuts, dude. He was like, whoa, man. This dude's had this fucking snake for 20 years thinking it was awesome and something, and all it was fucking deformed. I've made these all day. I've made these things every year. So anyway, that's what I do on BallSh. We can segue into that. Yeah. That's what I do. I interview the old guys you don't hear about. My next one coming is Kevin McCurley, and the whole point, oh, what you got?
They stop automatically after a certain time.
The whole.
Where's that one at? Stop it and then start it again.
Hang on. You added that?
Yeah.
Okay. Bring me back to it. The whole, what?
The whole thing about bullshit, interviewing the old guys.
Right. Kevin. My next podcast is with Kevin McCurley. Because I haven't done a podcast in a couple months. It's been kind of stale. People have been asking me, I want to do it, but unfortunately, I haven't found the time to edit it. To edit a podcast, so I haven't recorded a podcast. I don't want it to sit old and record it and edit one that's 3 months old. I don't like that. It's stale to me. I wanted to interview McCurley on where have all the old dogs gone. Why the fuck do you not know who Tracy Barker, Pete Call, Ralph Davis, you know what I mean? Why don't you know that? And we discussed the social networking aspect, how it's destroyed our industry in a way. That's one I want to talk to with Ralph. Ralph's got really strong feelings on that. On like, when this business went to fucking Facebook, this fucking thing went to fucking shit. It was like that. I mean, it was like, and I said, you know what? I wholeheartedly agree with you, man. Morph Market saved our ass. If John Lehman wouldn't have released Morph Market when he did, dude, we'd be busted out of ball pythons right now.
Morph Market was
It'd be
crazy.
fucking shot in the ass, bro. And the only reason why is it's an appraisal site. Nobody wants to list shit too cheap because they know they're gonna get their fucking ass chewed. So everybody stays in the even keel. And as people respect their hard work, shit starts to get more expensive. And then I can list a motherfucking yellow belly male for $50 and have 6 people fighting for it. What the fuck? Couldn't do that on King Snake. Because I just listed that yellow belly male 5 minutes ago and it's on page 3. And it's not categorized, so these people have 100,000 morph combos they're looking for, and every one of them just rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls. I'm now just checking Garrick DeMeyer's big list because it's the only fucking list on King Snake. That's not cool, man. Facebook, selling in this group, that group, this group, that group. I see this snake for sale for 500 in this group. It's selling for 700 in this group. These are selling for 200 in this group. What the fuck? That shouldn't happen. Morph Market comes out, gets everybody on it. Want to do it? Do it on Morph Market. See me auctioning on Facebook? No. See me selling? Advertising with good photos saying, hey, this might be available since I can't put a price on my Facebook personal page or whatever they say. Right?
Yeah.
Social networking ruined it, wrecked it. And we talk about that on BallSh. I try to bring these old guys back. Lindy did my podcast. Prior to him finding out that he was a narcissistic fuck and probably done more interviews since, he hadn't done an interview before he did mine. And I did hear from his old lady that he did listen to it a couple times. So he is a narcissistic fuck, so I can't call him that. Just like me. I told him that. How much I'm gonna go? I'm not gonna be able to go on for an hour and a half. I'm like, all right, Lenny, let's wrap it up. And he's like, that's it? We went on for an hour? And I was like, we went on for an hour and 30. He's like, wow, you know? And it was a great podcast. But that was it, Lindy Johnson. And I mean, tells you how he came up with Freedom Breeder, why it was named that way, how he and his son ventured into the Amazon with no food, tent, fucking sleeping bag, anything. The kid was, how old was Jeff? Like 13, 15 years old and got lost in the Amazon and had to sleep a night on the ground in the Amazon with nothing and no water, yeah, that kind of shit. Like I told him last time we left here, he said something about me and the wheels and I said, shut up, you probably have a kid on every fucking continent. There's not a lot of continents. I'm sure he's got that tag. But I can interview him on BallSh and I can say that. So it's unvarnished, it's raw, it's real, and it's mostly old. And that's what I hear. Dude, I love listening to the old days. I learned so much because it's not that way now. Then Rick Schlosser, Big Rick in Chicago. Dude, I wasn't going in my basement at all. I wasn't fucking with my snakes. I was ready to get out of ball pythons because I'm tired of it not being the way it used to be. Until I listened to your podcast, and now I'm listening to it while I'm cleaning cages. Because I'm remembering the way it used to be. And this is awesome, and I'm not going to stop it, and I'm not going to stop, and I'm going to keep going. And he's not, and I can't feel that. And I can't feel that, right? Right? But That'll be good.
This whole thing's gonna be.
End of my
I'm
fucking
literally like not gonna edit this.
I'll have fun with it.
I mean, there's a couple of spots I'll chop just to
Just
keep
to
it
make
rolling.
it seamless.
Seamless,
Fair-
but other
fair
than that, I'm not gonna edit this. Just so you know, because I don't want to.
You know, unfortunately, the late Ben Rennick. Ren Rennick has an hour and something on BallSh. That's fabulous. I mean, it's priceless. Lynn Lee, I interviewed 2 years prior. Why? I told Ben. It was Lynn Lee and him standing there. He said, I said, I want to interview you for the podcast. Talking to both of them. Like that. Yeah, Ben's like, well, okay, when? I was like, no, motherfucker, not you. You. I want to interview the wife, the massage therapist, the one that came into this business and knew nothing about ball pythons and turned out to be like reptile wife #1. Best ball python business I knew of, greatest relationship I knew of, you know, all this stuff. I want to interview her on BallSh. I'll get teary-eyed and stuff saying this shit. Because, not just because of Ben, but because, dude, guys emailed me saying their wives listened to it and got off their backs, changed their lives. It's real. Sorry.
It's good, man. Keep
I am
it
what
up.
I am. That's it. And I try to only attack the people that fucking deserve it. Sometimes I'm misguided, but most of the time I'm on point. I had Dave Palumbo interview me, and he asked me, Sean, how you're known as taking this aggressive stance on people that do wrong in the business, but you come wide out, you go full out, you go for the throat, you go, you know, his way, Dave Palumbo, you know, the bodybuilder way, Muscle Morph University, yeah, that kind of thing. I'm like, well, I hear a lot of talk. This guy, that guy, nothing ever gets solved. So I just fucking go to what I know. And what I know is the people that care about this thing. And so I tell them, hey, this guy is a motherfucker. Period. This guy tried to screw me over. Period. This guy didn't promote a project that I invested a ton of money in, that I was promised. Not promised. Let's say this is an investment game, right? We need production back. This is a money thing. Some things should be worked, and it wasn't worked. I feel that I was justified in most everything I've done aggressively. I feel I've been justified in everything I've done with this. And I own my shit. So that was my answer to Dave, was just gets it done, right? At the end of the day, what's the greater good? The market getting fucked up, somebody else getting a sick snake, this guy getting his money stolen. The greater good is that shit didn't happen anymore. Period. And if it cost me a little pride, or I look like an asshole, or you think I'm like crazy because I was just called in a Facebook post 2 days ago while I'm here in Daytona, I was called crazy and I was called mentally unstable and things like that, you know, because I posted something about a guy saying things false about my animal prices to try to get cheaper prices. A guy came on, called me names for calling another motherfucker names. Facebook's a mess, dude. And it creates a lot of drama. And with stuff like this, I can show the old ways. Before Facebook. Before fucking MySpace, Holmes. Right? That's what I like about this. So, YouTube, you guys got it, man. You guys got this. You're bringing your people this. You're bringing people my snot and my sniffles and my tears and my yells and screams and my faces. And that's awesome. But honestly, I don't have time for it a lot of the times. And that's why I think of BallSh. I think of Snakes and the Fat Man too, you know, Chris Eaton's podcast. Because you're cleaning cages, man. You ain't looking at a thumb cleaning cage, you know, right? When you guys aren't on YouTube, what are you doing? You're driving to work. You're doing monotonous things like mowing your fucking lawn, you know? Listen to a podcast. Learn more shit. Learn more shit. Learn more BallSh.
Good.
Because it is where the shit hits the fans.
That's where I'm gonna end it right there. Right after you say that.
That's it. Fair enough. I can close out. I know what I'm doing. I record every now and then. Twice a year, I make something happen. I don't know if that was too much. Not enough.
I don't. The only thing I ever want, the only thing I ever hope for, when I'm doing an interview, when I'm talking to somebody else, and we're doing the camera thing, is honesty, authenticity, or something real.
I cried.
That's all I want.
Yeah, I cried.
That's the most I can ever hope for in any
That's
one
awesome.
of these. So
that's awesome, man.
that's what I really want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good job.
I just like to have fun and talk about what used to be this. I mean, I ran into somebody over there and I said something about a guy from back in the day. This dude busted out laughing because then nobody on that aisle knew who the fuck I was talking about. Nobody in half that show ever heard of this guy, but he was a big deal back in the day. But ain't nobody here, you know? And people put me in the class with Kevin and Tracy, and shit's fucking insulting to them. I correct their ass whenever. I'm like, no, don't you do that shit. Don't you do that shit. You know, don't put me in a class with them. I said, but you want to be where I am? All you got to do is keep doing it. Don't stop doing it.
Don't quit. That's the same thing.
Don't
That's the same thing
stop
Eugene just said.
doing it. The only way you're losing money is to stop. All the money you've spent on animals, raising them up, all the money you've spent on infrastructure of caging. You know how many times I bought used racks from a guy that got into snakes, got out, got into snakes, and got out every fucking time, bought a rack, sold me a rack, bought a rack, sold me a rack? I can tell you, first time, second time, third time, last time. Waiting for the next time. Motherfucker's gonna get out because it's too much work and it's too much hassle and people are too much of a pain in the ass. Because you know what? Breeding snakes and hatching eggs means getting hundreds, man. You just pull money out of the eggs. It just means money, 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 money. You know what that egg is, dude? When that egg fucking hatches, it's a fucking deficit until it sells. Man, I had an $800 snake hatch out and died. Man, I lost $800. Oh, fuck, you didn't lose anything. If you don't lost $800, motherfucker stole it out of your pocket. Then you lost $800. Stole a snake off your table, then you lost maybe $800. But nah, you fucking died in the egg, man. It's just the cost of doing business at this point, you know? Man.
That was good. That was good, man. I
can go on for days, dude.
Well, that's what I was saying
Just
earlier.
because it's so fucking different, man. It's so fucking different, man.
When you were talking about getting the old guys, that's kind of been the goal with what I've been doing on here a little bit more recently. And I interviewed Lindy a while back, and I want to do more of those types, but a lot of the guys, they don't want to talk
Like,
about
you know, like Tom does a lot of stuff, and Ty would do stuff, and now Lindy does stuff, which is great. And, well, I mean, I try to be like, dude, it's not live. We can edit it. I can show it to you for approval. You can tell me what to cut. Yeah. It's fine. I mean, I would never make you look less than what you need to be. I never make you look worse than great.
Yeah.
That's it.
This one, I'm literally going to, like...
If you're worse than great, you're not on my fucking podcast. And if you're the worst of the worst, I mention you on my podcast, and I beep you out. And you know who you are. And you probably won't watch this video. But if you do, fuck you. He's right over there.
Oh shit, man! Thanks for doing that, Sean.
It's true. We only talk shit about one person, and I don't edit out, and I beep his name out in every instance. Like many episodes through years. Anytime that man is named, the story stays. Any part of the story that points to him directly gets edited. His name gets beep beep, you know, or beep. And I even made him a name tag at Tinley once and gave it to him, and it said beep.
You're an asshole.
I said, bro, would you wear this for me? I'll give you a BallSh shirt. What size you wear?
You're a dick.
It's fun, though. Always the drama. I don't like the drama. I don't like the drama. But you'll hit like, and you'll do an angry face, and you'll post to the fucking thing your opinion, and you'll join the FBI forum, and the Tita thing, and the this and that. You don't like the drama. Shut the fuck up. You just don't have time to make the popcorn when it starts. That's all.
I'm not sure who you're talking about, but I've never actually put an angry face on anything.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, just people. No, not you at all. I'm just saying the people that don't like drama and stay out of it, and then go online and hey, Joel, and put it out there. Oh, look. Hey, check this out. before we all pack up and go, I'm gonna show you one. Stay where you're at, obviously. Puerto Rican guys gave me that as a gift. You know, a bonsai tree.
That's a beautiful bonsai.
Yeah, it's nice. It's a black olive that that one of them collected in the Bahamas, and has been working on it for a while. I mean, you can see the root.
Yeah.
The root's been worked on for quite a while, and they got it in the country somehow. We won't talk about how, and now it has been a gift to me. And they knew, but many people don't know. But I studied bonsai for like 3 or 4 years, and so that's a big deal to me. So it's a black olive, and yeah, so
really sweet,
pretty
man.
neat to get, you know, something so honoring from someone, you know, just for doing the podcast, just for being helpful, just for being awesome. And these guys in Puerto Rico, what they do is they take videos probably like yours and they translate them into Spanish for all the Latin countries. They dub them and re-put them out and redistribute them so that the Latin people can know what you're saying. So it's good for them and it's good for you too. So your name's getting all over the place. So if you ever start getting more hits on your YouTube feeds from Latin countries, you'll know Kenny Aponte and his partners are responsible for that hard work that they're doing to bring those people the information, because there's nobody speaking Spanish giving out that kind of info, you know, nobody. So kind of neat.
Yeah.
They keep ball pythons too. South Africa's got a huge business.
Right.
They've had a retail reptile only store for fucking 20 years now. He's produced a magazine for 15 years. That's actually like a magazine, not just one page. It's South Africa. I was in Memphis at a Repticon 2 months ago, and there was 2 South African ball python guys there. Just so happened to be in Memphis working on some. Third about the reptile show went. So now I got 2 South African ball python guys to hang out with, you know? Australians. An Australian chick sent me pictures of her everything from the podcast. I didn't solicit it at all. I just opened my email one day and there was vagina and tits. And I was like, that's nice. I was like, how are you? And she's like, oh my God, I was drunk. And I was like,
dude.
oh my God, you were awesome.
I gotta start helping those
Here.
guys break down, or I'm gonna be in
Get
trouble.
it. I can go forever.
Thank
I'll do you on a podcast.
Thank you.
We can be on a podcast. We can talk.
Yeah.
Because I want to do stuff about YouTubers. I want to do like quite a few of the things about herper YouTubers.
Just let me know when, man.
Yeah, well, I got to do, oh God, whatever. Don't publicize that because I don't know his name.
No.
Oh, Hissy Fit Reptiles. I got to do Hissy Fit's interview because he's a sponsor. But once I'm done with that, I'll be able to do other guys because, you know, I love it. I think it's great. What you're doing is really good. This, if you can do this, like with them. And I say them, not me, you know. I mean, I can do it, but I'm just recanting all the shit I know of them. Right. You know, so, yeah.
Eugene went off pretty well.
Fuck him, because he won't do my podcast and he did your interview. He's right over there, too. I'm going to go tell the old man something.
I had to have Lindy, Lindy and Jesse both hold his arms down and beat him in the face.
That's okay. I'm going to get Mark.
If you get Mark, then I will.
I'm going to get Mark. Did you hear the routine? So I told Sherry Ashley in Tinley, I'm going to get Mark. She's like, you're not going to get Mark on your podcast. I'm like, I'm going to get fucking Mark Bell on my podcast. And she said, no, you're not. He's not going to do it. I said, I'm going to call him and I'm going to record him because he's in Florida. I'm in Louisiana. I'm going to record him and.
You still with us? That was a good interview, I think. I love when I can just ask one question and get this whole story out of somebody. It's especially when they're being 100% honest like Sean clearly was. Thank you, Sean, for coming on. Next week, we're going to be traveling to upstate New York to visit my friend Carla and do a Snake with Friends episode. So until then, you've been watching Triple B TV. Y'all take care. Yep, that should work. Oh my God. The goddamn motherfucking shit ass bitch.